Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
I was 15 when I learned that survival was not kind. It did not care how young I was or how lost, how desperate. It did not ask if I was ready. It only asked if I would make it through. Some nights I curled against the cold, telling myself tomorrow would be different. Other nights I stopped pretending that I had a choice at all. And when the winter came, when survival demanded payment in ways I never expected, I understood one thing, that my dick saved my life. And I know how that sounded. A bit vulgar. But it was not because I wanted to, not because I was chasing pleasure, chasing desire. No, because it was the only thing I had. Because when the streets stretched empty, when the nights grew long, when the cold stretched to take what little I had left, I knew what I had to do because I was good at it, not because I wanted to be, but because I had to be. Because if I was good enough, if I could hold their attention, if I could be what they wanted, I wouldn't freeze to death. So I did what I had to do, and it worked, so my dick saved my life. Again and again through the years that blurred together, through winters that made no promises, it was shelter, it was currency, it was the one thing that kept me breathing when everything else told me I wouldn't last. And in the morning, when the sun touched my skin, when I woke beneath the roof I didn't own, laying next to another woman that I didn't love, I told myself the same lie over and over, that this was just another night, just another choice, just another step towards a promise that someday I wouldn't have to do this anymore. Someday I'd be more than what survival demanded. So yeah, my dick saved my life, but it never saved me. It never kept me it kept my body warm, but it did not stop the cold from keeping into my bones. It kept me fed, but it never filled me. It kept me breathing, but it did not teach me how to live. So once again, yeah, my dick saved my life. But when the morning came, when I woke in beds that did not belong to me, when I stared at ceilings that whispered reminders of all that I had just given for the simple sake of surviving, it did not save the parts of me that were breaking. It did not silence the voices that asked, is this all that I am? It did not erase the moments when I stayed still pretending to want what they needed to take. It did not grant me peace, only passage through the night, into another, into another, into another. My dick saved my life, but it didn't save the boy who had to learn what survival really meant. Did not save the 15-year-old who stared into winter's face and knew there was no mercy coming. It did not save the hands that trembled when they touched strangers' bodies. It did not save the heart that learned to beat hollow. Did not save the mind that started measuring worth in transactions instead of truths, because surviving is not healing. Surviving is not softness. Surviving is not salvation. It's getting through. It's holding on. It's making it to tomorrow, whether tomorrow feels like a curse or a gift. So yes, my dick saved my life, but it never saved me. I don't want to live. There is a space between longing and fear, a quiet corner of existence where time drags its feet, where shadows stretch too far and the weight of tomorrow presses down before it has even arrived. So I don't want to live. Not like this. Not inside a world that feels too sharp, too loud, too unforgiving. Not inside days that blur into each other, that carry the same questions with no answers. I don't want to live. But I'm afraid to die. Afraid of the silence beyond, afraid of unfinished sentences scattered across my story, afraid that somewhere someone is waiting for me to come back. I don't want to live, but I don't want to be gone. I don't want my name to become a whisper on the lips of those I love. I don't want another absence that leaves a wound in the shape of who I was, so I stay. I stay in the ache, in the moments that drag, in the minutes that feel like years, and the years that vanish too soon. I stay. I stay because even in the heaviness, there is something worth holding on to, something I haven't found yet, but just maybe I will. I stay for the hands that reach for mine, for the voices that say my name like it still matters, for the possibility that tomorrow might feel lighter. I stay because hope isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes it's the weight of someone sitting beside you without needing you to speak. And if you're here too, if you know this place, this space between longing and fear, then know this, that you are not broken, you are not beyond saving, and you are not alone. There is a space for you in this world, and maybe it doesn't feel like it now, maybe it never has, but I promise it exists. And if you stay, if you hold on, if you can breathe through the weight, then maybe, just maybe, we can find it together. Because even when the light feels distant, even when the night stretches too long, even when the voice inside whispers it's too much, there's another voice, soft and steady, waiting, that says stay. So I will. And I hope you will too. As I step out the car, a feeling of nausea hits me as I slam the door. I then look up, I just walk up a narrow pathway to a gravestone. I'm trying to pretend isn't yours. See, I'm trying to pretend that the best parts of me are now buried under my feet, and the only thing in life I have to look forward to now is the next time that we meet. So now longing for death happens as often as breathing, and everyone keeps trying to convince me this is a natural process of grieving, so I keep believing. See, I don't only focus on work, but I go to church now. I certainly occupy my mind to pray away the hurt now. I try to remember that we have a mysterious God, that God has ways, but this pain mysteriously finds me every goddamn day. I'm stuck in a vicious cycle of wishing I was gone and wishing you were still here. It's like I'm stuck in a nightmare, just living my worst fears. And I don't understand how something that hurts so bad can still make me numb. And I want to escape this pain, but there's nowhere for me to run, so I find myself standing at this gravestone one more time, reminiscent of the days when you were still here and I could call you mine. So in case God ever parts the heavens, you look down, I mean, if God lets you, you'll see me standing right here, telling you I love you, that I will never forget you. Daddy will never forget you.
Father's Day. I don't give two fucks about Father's Day. I grew up with a man in the house. Not my bio dad, but a stepdad who raised me from the age of 1. He said he loved me like his own, but somehow always made sure I knew I wasn't. He laughed with my brothers. He played with them, took them on outings, and showed up for them. And I was just there, a part of the package. My mom, she yelled, hit, abused, and broke me down in ways I'm still trying to heal from. And he stood there, did nothing. He was a coward who could never stand up to her, who would rather see the abuse than fight with her himself. Not one time did he step between me and her. Not one time did he say, that's enough. You let her lock me away, starve me, beat the shit out of me. You let her break me, and then you had the nerve to say you loved me. What kind of love is that? Because it didn't feel like love. I felt like I was the redheaded stepchild. I used to lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, imagining a dad who actually gave a fuck, picturing what life would look like with my real dad. Would he look at me and see me as his princess? Would he protect me and hold me? Would he save me from her? I built him in my head a Puerto Rican Elvis because he did not exist in my life. Don't get me started on seeing girls with their dads at school, at the store, at basketball games, hugging, cheering, high-fiving. I'm not even jealous anymore. Can't miss what you never had. Father's Day, it's just a yearly reminder of what I didn't get and who didn't show up. So yeah, fuck Father's Day. It's just another damn day.
Yeah, she's fine. But will she pray for you? And I mean, really pray. Get down on her knees and then not be for pleasure, but instead to heal your pain. Will she talk to the divine about how you stay on her mind? And will she learn to taste wine that comes straight from the vine that wraps around your heart and keeps the blood flowing? Or will she want to stop and restart to mend your broken heart in a relationship that should have never kept going? Will she cook your favorite meal when you say you had a bad day, or just tell you to get real because you shouldn't bother to say what's really been stressing you because you're a man, so toughen up, not realizing that you're a blessing too and you are way more than enough. Shawty bad, but not in a good way. She's only bad for the men who want no more than a plaything. You see, beauty isn't just what you see at face value. It's more than a big booty and breasts that hold volume. It's connecting with someone so deeply your life changes. It's both of you agreeing to stay together until your body is in the ground decaying. It's finally getting to meet a rainbow baby. It's more than just trying to treat her like a lady. It's two souls combining and intertwining under one roof. And beauty is me reminding you that I love you and can show proof. So before you go and remind me once again how shoddy is bad, make sure you take a final look and see what you really could have had.
My doctor says we mustn't let depression stay beckoning from my bed. Shouldn't slip into somnolent complacency and let her dream my days away. He always asks me if I feel better from the last time we did this. A quick survey of the disposition of thousands of variables, and I'm just going to say what comes into my head. He'll nod because he really does care and ask if I have the same pharmacy. New pills come marching in to join the old in my daily dose. All my side effects are twirling round on their broken axes, drugs doing the damage instead of the storm. Sometimes we have to submit to brutality to be healed and brutalize ourselves in the process. Some days she sits on my shoulder, whispering her dark interpretations, dire implications, unholy expectations, echoing walls that never stayed the same for long, and childhood beds that were never home. My friend points at her perch from time to time and asks me if it's empty. I'll nod because I don't want him to worry, but she giggles when I lie. Lying beside me later, eyes locked like lovers, fingers interlaced, she sings her lullaby. A siren song for a man who never sails. Some nobody spitting loneliness, slipping away on the underside of the sheep I keep counting in between these verses. I dreamt my doctor flew me out over mountain lakes, passing between peaks, swooping low and suddenly swerving, we plummeted towards the water. Final thoughts flashed, but the crash didn't come. And I woke amongst the debris of a day that hasn't even started yet.
Sunrise of happiness. Drink with contentment, lifting up a toast to goodness. We're on a celebration of transformation. Throw away despondency. Let's swing our hips tonight and be ourselves. No judgment. Nature's whispering in the light of stillness. The tide has changed and the pendulum sits in equilibrium. Leave the frost outside. Let's enjoy the serenity and grandeur of shooting stars. Instead of the chatter and fury of words, create a stir with the flamenco. Let's swing to memorable moments, adorn your cheeks with merriment, shine a candle on loneliness and gloom. Oh, lantern, get rid of the thorns so that love's roses unfurl towards heaven. Watch the moon glow and Orion twinkle in your delight. Look, look, the celestial entities are in an enchanted state of laughter. Get rid of remorse, entreat the rain to clean the gutters of your memory. Flowers, do you smell them? Lavenders and jasmines are frolicking, sparrows coo, even as the hummingbird dances, starlings sway with the heart symphonies. Drink wine. Now is not the time for serenading your brother's faults, for feeling the anxiety of life struggles. Hasn't it inflicted enough pain? Come, love's whispering in our hearts of joy, and the ship is sailing full speed ahead. Where are these shadows of which you speak? Daybreak hums and the dawn is glimmering, even as daffodils prepare to unfold their elegance. Throw away despair and embrace the sunrise of happiness. Welcome to the party of transformation. Let's dance.
Father's Day went to an open mic one day and caught a stray. He heard a poet say, "Fuck Father's Day," and it made him cry like Joseph and Mary after the crucifixion. May Day, we have a problem. The holiday for Dad is April Fool's Day compared to that second Sunday in May. But know this, fathers are vital. If they weren't, there wouldn't be viral videos of them catching kids who fall from chairs, swings, cribs, trees, windows, and other heights defying death. Dads deserve sincere recognition for their service, providing some assembly when required. Single moms do put in that work. Let it be noted, though, a child can grow up fine with one leg, but isn't it better if they have two? In the home, two-parent system overthrown, new rule. You can castle without the king. You can play Ogun against Oshun. The road to fatherhood has been converted into a bike lane, not realizing even sons of anarchy need their fathers. Kids give grace to Santa, even though a grown man wanting children to sit on his lap is problematic. Yet Father's Day gets ghosted, but who are you going to call when things get ectoplasm messy? When mom's nails just got done, dad is the only one who can get his hands dirty, lending a hand or doing hand-to-hand combat with anyone who puts a hand on his child. When children get out of hand, telling them, I'm telling your dad, comes in handy. Dads distribute allowance, help with science projects, provide security at contentious PTA meetings, make sure no Girl Scout cookie gets sold in the park unless his daughter gets in. And all he's ever asked for in return is the biggest piece of chicken. He's grown accustomed to subsisting without love or respect. Father's Day is a superhero who gets treated like a sidekick. Every June, Dad gets the same gift, a utility belt with matching tie and socks. If not for Juneteenth, Dad wouldn't even get a day off. Father's Day needs mental health counseling. Father's Day needs a better PR firm. Maybe the same one that helped Smokey the Bear become the longest running ad in history. Remember, only you can prevent. Fuck Father's Day.
When exposing ugly truths, I become the enemy of ambiguous prevaricators, the they that reward the chosen ignorance up against a wall of comforting lies, generations of deep deceptions, brainwashed masses cling to familiar propaganda, living zombies choose their virus because it has a name they know, conditioned to fear anything different. When exposing ugly truths, we all wear blue on Mondays, conform or be punished. Well, I will wear yellow proudly and challenge you to tell me why the color I wear matters at all. But it's utter gibberish. There is nothing rooted in reason. Control is the motive behind the lies. Whose lies? Whose control? Questions that need to be asked and answered, but whose answer can the people trust? When exposing ugly truths, layers of lies peel away adjudicated deliberate deception, leaving a wound we the people are desperate to heal. Close the skin, infection hidden within to fester and rot an entire nation. Ignored symptoms defy the disease, rampant superbug immune to cure, or is that just another deception? When exposing ugly truths, those who blaspheme against the status quo become the villains in the public eye, not just of those who seek control, but of those who are willingly deceived. Desperate masses will defend their controllers with a passion akin to righteousness, just to keep their egos intact. When exposing ugly truths, rhetoric propaganda disguises itself as truth, pure and shiny. Ignores historical tortures and disturbing research that dragged the trodden into victimhood. Swept them away into graves lined with mendacity. A sickness of mind arises. Zombies camouflaged as audacity. Bleeding eyes blinded by treachery and disease, but the cure brings no profit. When exposing ugly truths, beware the specter of greed that turns men into monsters without mercy. Determined to crush the truth seekers and the truth speakers, convoluted legalese confounds the masses. People who choose ignorance and dare not look too close, for fear they will be crushed alongside the courageous. The few with open eyes and minds sway maverick and bold enough to fight the disease they refuse to cure.
Are you nervous this morning? Do you understand what the proceedings in this court is about? Do you know what a lawyer is? Do you understand that there is a punishment for living in this country without citizenship? Do the defense have any opening statements? Can you begin to fathom these questions? Is it settling your stomach to comprehend why, in 2025, a judge would allow a toddler to be tried for any reason by a prosecution without adult representation, and the walls of his wording still stand? The bars of his tongue still imprisoning, still calling for juveniles to be ripped from the embrace of their loving families. You'd be surprised how criminal they view you at 5, how masterminded a teeny bopper is. The programming imposed through a Disney Channel plus a peanut butter sandwich can really preschool a terrorist, and it's up to America to stop them, to track them down before they realize their power. The way Latinos have united their communities is exemplary to other cultures. Unleash the hounds on these nation cities, plague them like the Black Death disease of Europe. Bring back their bones when you snatch their souls, and we'll try them from the backs of paddy wagons. We'll break them down before they ever reach a trial date, with small spaces unfit to corral canine. The school lunch lines of concentration camps will malnourish all that was meant for them. The separation from their parents will have them kneeling at the toe-bearing of liberty. Our boot heel at their throats will block any escaping wind as the robe enters like a Cape Crusader, claiming the room's throne with his hind parts. The ice glass in his blue eyes set the tone for how cold his heart is. Docket number 008531, the state of America versus the defendant. U.S. of A. versus a 5-year-old. The up the creek handling of a sitting duck with the know-nothings of their innocence is an open admittance to guilt. And the court addresses the 5-year-old. Are you nervous this morning? Do you understand what the proceedings in this courtroom is about? Do you know that there is a punishment for living in this country without citizenship? And we intend to rid this nation of such radical behavior, one neighboring sweep at a time. These are the lawmen ain't warrantings, the ICE uniform, vest, and badgings, the heroics of America's good deeds, the makings of a villain.
Don't tell nobody. I killed a man last night. It's not the first time. See, sobriety has been sneaking into my bedroom, taking advantage of the monsters under my bed. I helped him bury the bodies in my subconscious. Now, they haunt the spaces my halo is supposed to cover. If you look close, you can still see the dirt under my fuck you fingernails. Me and sobriety been on a killing spree. Serial killing time and cutting off its hands so you can't identify the body. I am the antithesis of Jesus. I turn wine back into water in hopes my liver don't crucify me. I spent a week in Tennessee and didn't even taste the whiskey, but I swallowed pride that burned going down with it, and I think I love you, chaser. You might find my ego buried near the river in a shallow grave. Rock bottom was a little too close to the surface. We buried my depression in a pet cemetery, and that motherfucker keeps coming back. I swear, that nigga is the Michael Myers of mental illness, and sobriety claims he's harder to kill than my addiction. Self-medicating murder is better than suicide, and I've been on a killing spree to keep myself alive. I'm a selfish nobody dressed in black, building a graveyard in my floorboards. You could judge me, but my bodies are too fresh for closets. If your skeletons were decomposing like mine, you'd hide them better. There's enough room in the backyard after digging up the family secrets. I know, because that's where sobriety told me to stop burying myself. Nothing grows from a decaying body besides regret. We would know. We planted another one last night. If anyone asks, tell them I'm healing. Tell them I'm just fine. I'm finally leaning into sobriety.
My declaration. I'm not following my dreams. I'm walking in my prophecies. Oh, don't let me forget. Nothing can stop me. I make the devil mad that he can't block me. So he sent his demons out to watch me. See, God designed me for a time such as this. And the signs that he's shown me he does exist. No, he's not a myth. I know you've been made to think you're not a gift. Trust me, I know this. Some may dismiss and think I'm unfit for this position. Wait, hold up, just listen. The world got you learning fiction. It's time to jump ship and get on the mission. Hear me out. We are God's too. He's just the great I am, the God above all gods. That's why he said to only praise him. I know some like it and some don't, but we should care about those who won't, because God could change anyone above and beneath the sun. And he wants us to love everyone. Yes, he creates all and controls all. So there's no better one to learn from. He even loved the ones that hate him. Curse his name even though he praised them, and he hates no one. See, God had to really humble me. Now I understand that there's no one above nor under me. So each day I live, I'ma spread love like the devil spreads sins, because I'm lyrically connected to God's voice. Call me his specimen. I'm activated. Don't call me an activist.
I'm not a rapper. I'm a poet, a word adapter, a hapless addict rapping seamless syntax that doesn't tatter, but seldom sees the light of day. Follow the pitter-patter, seize the swirling seas in your mind comprised of idle chatter. I seldom canter, I air pedantic. I'm after a calling beyond a spot in the echo chambers of mindless chowder. I ride away quick to the lean soul and write rhymes fatter than mad lads leaping high off of tall ladders, their ankles shattered. But all this style without substance has no heart, no candor. It's by and large just the same, empty drivel passing for witty banter. If I could dribble just a moment on this tangent matter, rhyming for the sake of style proves no easy endeavor, but only with the touch of a deft hand, light as a feather, may it come together all at the very end, and for that be better. But even the best distractions must retire. When the thrill is gone, life returns with a tire iron. I'm convinced that in a past go, I must have played with fire and stoked the ire of a being higher than I after inhaling a rail of barbed wire. The bump leaves me elated. Glory sings the choir. It has its eyes on me, but I'm so goddamn tired. My vision narrows and I cannot seem to sire a plan to emerge victorious from the quagmire. What can I say? Self-armistice is hard for me. In my cardboard packaging, grace came hardly. I was dropped a hot shot on the stoop of a house party where I graced a happy home, a most unfortunate adoptee. What's the point of getting good things given heartily when for some non-inchoate part of me, my success is not what it wants to see? I've lost morale before, but these wounds bleed mortally. I'm morally opposed to not stopping the problem, but the problem's me. Hello, how are you? I'm pleased to meet you so cordially. You can call me Icarus. Please avail yourself of my canopy. From my perch, I view the earth with utter apathy. Colors and shapes I can't relate to threaten my sanity. I'm not really a part of your world, only barely. And so far as my being here, bereft of any sincerity, can seriously be considered more than anomalous. Nothing for his posterity. I've given myself too many reasons for new austerity. Bipolarity pollutes my life with severity, barbarities of endless temerity and asperity. Hospice will provide no care. I mean, this is verity. If this is all there is for me, there is no angularity. I understand the decision to cease my cellularity. And if things do go that way for my loved ones, I'll tender clarity in the form of 4 more pseudo-sonnets offered voluntarily.
2019, 621 came at me with the force of a gun fired into my heart. The love I thought I had turned out to be nothing but manipulation, leaving me in desolation. I destroyed my marriage, my job, and my life for a man who gave me nothing but lies and an existence filled with the desecration of promises I made and shattered for want of another. 2025, I'm still alive, but if I was a medical condition, we might label it failure to thrive because I am still not okay. I don't blame anyone. The actions I took are part of my journey, and I don't know where this rock slide ends. I try to do my best to do the right thing, to be kind and give wherever I can give. I am bipolar, I am ADHD, and these are new gifts from the universe. I am no longer the me I was when I was that other she. My daughter told me she doesn't even remember a me who was a good mom. And when I think back over time, I can see her point of view. She was 6 when I was diagnosed with cancer. I spent 4 years exhausted and unable to do anything except exist. And when Sleeping Beauty woke up, I ate the apple and lost myself. Or maybe I was already lost. But I keep trying. I keep throwing spaghetti at the wall to try to figure out who the fuck I am and what the hell I'm supposed to do with it all. I love my daughter, and I know she does not understand I am not the person she grew up with. I had to rip the concrete off of her and stand naked under the sun. I tried BDSM. I tried art. I tried every possible way I could think of to heal my brain and my heart, and I'm at a loss for what to do next, but I will not give up. I will not see defeat. There's a reason I didn't die at stage 4. There's a reason I had to cut myself loose from the they that I used to be a part of. I was the B in our BKZ. Now I'm only the B of me, myself, and I, trio of 1 and no longer 3. I will always regret the hurt that I laid down on them. I was selfish and thoughtless, and I made that bed with thorns and thumbtacks to leave my dreams in red, but I'm trying to move on. I carve my truth into my flesh every day, runes of protection on puckering skin, my will to survive a tattoo gun, Sanskrit of tears salting my wounds. I will heal myself by the light of the moon. Whether I sing or howl, I am a noise unto the heavens. Take that, karma. How you like me now?
Your name is Saquon, but I still call you Monk. You held on to me like a little monkey when you were small, like I was the whole world and you didn't want to let go. And now, here I am, the one holding on while you slowly start to let me go. You're not 18 yet, not till October. You haven't graduated yet either, not till next year. You're still here, still in this house, in your room, still leaving your shit all over the place and fighting with your sister. You're still under my roof. But I already feel the goodbye creeping in. I already feel the change, and it hurts in a way I don't even have words for because I'm grieving and you haven't even left yet. I've grieved real loss. I've buried your grandparents. I've buried your uncles. I've known that kind of pain. But this grief is different because it's not about losing someone to death. It's about losing my funky monkey who once needed me for everything while trying to learn how to be a mom to a young man. I'm proud of you, Monk. So proud. You're kind in the world that isn't. You look out for people who don't have much. You protect your sister even while driving her crazy. You always do what you're asked without giving me hell. God truly blessed me with you. You've got this mix of heart and spunk that makes me believe you're going to be just fine, and that scares me too, because it's going to take you far from me. It might take you into a life where I only get pieces of you. A call here, a visit there, a holiday if I'm lucky, and I'm scared. Not because I think you'll mess up, but because I know the world can be cruel and I won't be there to protect or save you if it is. I want you to go. I want you to live. I want you to take every dream in your heart and chase it all the way down. I want you to experience everything I couldn't give you, everything I couldn't reach for myself. I want you to be more, do more, feel more, and live louder and braver than I ever could. You deserve that. But please don't forget me. Don't forget home. Don't forget that there's a woman here who held you close before the world ever got the chance to, who loves you more than she can ever put into words, who still watches you when you're not looking and still peeks in on you while you're sleeping while trying to memorize your face before it completely changes. I'm trying to be okay with you growing up and growing away, but let me hold on just a little longer, son. You're still my baby, even with that deep voice, even with that height, even with your plans. You will always be my baby boy. And I'm still your mom, no matter how grown you are or how far you go. I love you, son. My funky monkey.
How are you? Are you still doing okay? I hope you know I think of you almost every single day, even if you're not. I'm still here to help. I know that you were taught to put your feelings on a shelf to bottle them up inside because no one wants to hear it, but you don't have to hide the pain that's lingering in your spirit. I truly care about you, and I'm wishing for the best that you can learn to reach out to when you feel like a noose is around your neck. You don't have to swing in gallows for me to see the pain you're in. You don't have to sit and wallow in the depression you've been in. You can call me anytime that your spirit is in need. I drop everything on a dime before I sit and watch you bleed. I don't want to get a phone call saying that your spirit is gone when you could have given me a call so that we could find a way to solve any situation that could have been possibly haunting you. Remove your thoughts from the equation that have you feeling blue. Or maybe I could sit with you and not even speak at all. It could literally be just us two sitting on a call, not having to say words because I feel you in my spirit. Leave the bullshit for the birds because we ain't trying to hear it. I really fucking love you, man. I hope that you can see that God been working on a better plan for both you and for me.
A small world. I saw her from the other side of the phone screen. Bathsheba bathed in blue light. Now I've pined on deliverance, pinned limericks on limerence, waxing on vinyl, wine drunk on clitoris. I prayed I still got it, in psalm and in sonnet, and shot first, pacing till the moment she responded. In her, another artist, more pitch perfect than backpack rapper. I tried my best to hide. I was hooked at her first stanza. Ere she'd called, I'd always answer, kicking my feet like riding a bike, a giddy tyke on training wheels with froggy boots and strawberry Nesquik, enmeshed quick, in bed sick with heart murmurs. We planned to meet, a third floor suite complete with single serve lotion and an ocean view, in motion to become more than just in theory, a unanimous desire, a lovely shared something toward which to aspire. Interdoubt, our compatibility, my feelings, her aptitude, nose diving in attitude from altitude 1005. She'll get that reference. I said, let's just be friends and not to wait for me. Through cotton candy tears, she asked I name whatever changed in me. Embarrassed, I lied. I want to get sober. The train passed, my gaze flicked. I thought of sprinting over to the tracks. 3 months later, I'm in rehab after trying exactly that. For 4 or so months, I yo-yoed my disposition. I pushed and popped her heart into uncomfortable positions. My mission was self-service. Sorry, it's new. My mission was self-service. It took a full surrender to a higher power named ERP, EMDR, and sertraline for me to glean how I really felt. And how I felt. Harder this time, no longer blinded by skepticism. At last, we started dating. It lasted days, not weeks. Her call this time around. I spun out on turned tables. Google how to be platonic with someone for whom you harbor chronic love. I asked from above the audience. Anyone in the mezzanine carrying a panacea for the unrequited, for the having passed twice on what you now so badly want, for the never loving something so much you don't kick it just to cry when it doesn't come limping back. I'll see her soon for half a week. Until that day, my pain I'll keep. I pray for Jane, clean my lane, and play pretend myself to sleep.
What would you ask the dead? The ball cap turned to its side looks a little like how Jaw wears his caps. The cap itself is more what Jim wears, though I haven't seen that color on his head. Jim would never smoke a cigar. I haven't smoked in years. The valet is enjoying a cigarette in between helping old folks into wheelchairs. The parking spaces here are large enough for my car. I'm trying to remember what the doctor told me about the procedure that made my memory all fucked up. He told me why the whole thing went sideways, and he was actually apologetic, but I can't remember what he said. I haven't seen him since that day. That would have been a few weeks after the procedure that fucked up my memory. I don't know what year that was. Someone asked me what happened, and I couldn't tell them. I forgot. A man yelling at a woman behind a desk. Another man loudly shaking his head, but not yelling at a woman behind a desk. A woman behind a desk looking like she does this every single fucking day. A nurse who never made eye contact but held my wrist. Maybe I never looked at her. A doctor who wanted my blood and had the nurse walk me down to the lab. I think he was rightfully afraid that I wouldn't make it there on my own. I'm terrified of needles. A 76-year-old woman who got married last year and has trouble remembering her new name. I imagine sitting at a computer that can answer any question I ask it, and the cursor is blinking, and time is passing by, and the cursor is blinking, and I can't think of a question to ask, and the cursor is blinking. He has so much potential. If only he would apply himself. Didn't read enough, didn't study enough, went outside instead of doing homework. Spent time with life and trees and friends and endless bicycle rides. My father was 17 when he left. My father left when I was 17 and broke my heart. I loved him with everything I had to give. When I felt him pull away, I tried harder to show him that I was worth keeping. He sat in the corner in one dream and didn't say anything. He was just present. And I think that's the one that got me. That's when his presence really started to bother me. You'd remember if you wanted to. God damn. My grandfather sat next to me as we drove him to the bank. He wanted to tell me something so badly, but he didn't. I wonder if he didn't have the words or the courage. Is that harsh? If I could speak to him again, I'd ask him if he healed. Could he heal? Did he ever escape from the chair in the front room where he waited for his mother to come back? Can my memory heal? Can I?
Beyond the silence. There are those who are abused in silence without ever having given consent, just as there are those who wake up in strange beds with the peeling away of dignity in their bones and copious tears in their hearts and souls. The way of the bully at school never changes. Power, ego, and greed fuel a mad thirst to conquer, and one uses this, which may also be accompanied by manipulative ways long meticulous planning, and a barrage of subterfuge to achieve a heinous goal. Alas, the microcosm repeats itself in the macrocosm, and humans, environment, cities, nay, the global cause and its ecosystems suffer tremendous adversities. I look through history at humans' inhumanity to humans, and I see the same old vices repeating themselves over and over again. Science and technology have evolved much, but the same inner demons utilize this for abhorrent gains. I pray for the living, those who are silent and feel powerless because dissenting voices are silenced. I pray for the dead alive, dead because the empathy in their hearts has been overshadowed by the fire of greed in the minds and emotions. I pray to paradise. O great one, forgive me, I said in my silence. For even as I created some problems for my mom, so too my elder brothers and sisters, the corporate few, are creating 1,000 sufferings for my fellow humans, your children. Love, ever compassionate, whispers, my child, there are moral and legal principles, but they fail due to avarice and the addictions of desires. Divine power never fails, but while you are made essentially in my image, my ways are inscrutable and not your ways. The cuckoo sings the most stunning melodies when it is lamenting the loss of its beloved. Will I not sing for you, my child? Only I'm a farmer, tilling the ground, watering the soil, applying the manure, and awaiting the choice hour for your bumper harvest to take root, bloom, and manifest my blossoms. Be of good cheer. I have asked the jasmines to continue the wafts of the redolence, even as the rose shows its sacrifice and charm. The starlings still chant verses, the sparrows and nightingales will soon come singing with the arias of my victory. So be patient in your silence. Even if your heart is pure, you may still wish to pray and act if you can, but never worry about what you cannot change, for I hold the keys to unfolding the peace that you seek. For I hold the keys to unfolding the peace that you seek. Will unfold it at my choice hour. Fear not, I am with you always, for together we are as one, an immortal journey.
Haunted. They say a child haunts this house, but she doesn't roam or make noise. She was shut in a box hidden in the attic, muzzled by fear year after year. She would have screamed in a pillow if she had been given one. Instead, she wailed in her head while teardrops resounded louder than the whispers she dared breathe. Silence and servitude required, just a child with the world on her back. Every sound, a reason for anger unleashed. Belt and fist leave welts and bruises, another for each sound uttered. She screams in silence, muzzled by fear. That tiny box safer than with him. The sound of his footsteps, an indelible warning. She tries to make herself smaller, tries to hide with nowhere to go. She trembles as the keys rattle and hit the lock. He drags her down the stairs, barely notices her stumbles. She tries to keep up, but wants to give up. Dreams of days his footsteps don't come for her, of days keys don't rattle or open the lock. Dreams every night of escaping her plight, to be taken by death to darkness, never to wake again to his demands. Just whispers of the wind, skittering of cockroaches, buzzing of flies in the windows. Their ignorance of her existence, the only thing that counts as kindness. His rough tug on her bruised arm and barked orders for the day rips her from the dream. Her mind doesn't want to leave. But the lift lines up in her mind. She dares not miss a task. He downs another flask, then passes out in the chair. She lets out a breath, completes her list, wakes him to eat. He grumbles and eats as she waits and takes his plate, cleans the mess. He takes her up to the attic again, shoves her in and locks the cage, stumbles and skids his way down attic stairs. Booze calls his name, stakes its claim upon his life. Darkness slowly closes in. Death's hand stops his heart and mine. She resides in her safe space, unaware that her dreams will soon come true. His feet never again climb the stairs. Key will never again hit the lock. She will never again be struck with belt and fist. She wakes to daylight and silence. Just whispers of the wind, skittering of cockroaches, buzzing of flies against the window, too far gone to wonder why. Just screams in silence, muzzled by fear, as days pass slowly by, until the silence swallows her whole.
Once upon a time, someone with a Ric Flair for life set out into the world to traverse this country's dusty roads in pursuit of the American dream, seeking guidance through hard times, saying prayers and taking vitamins like a good Hulkamaniac, so there's no anemia due to low iron sheet blood level. Life has levels. No one starts off on the top rope. Work your way up. Be super fly. Leap away from a tragic fate before you look like Abel at the hands of Cain. Avoid a raw deal. Abscond from the Undertaker. Meet Jake the Snake from State Farm. Ask for the Triple H policy. Health, housing, happiness. Have you ever had a heart broken? Mankind can be so cruel. Have you ever been betrayed? Saint John Cena the Baptist, heart decapitated from head. Have you ever been caught between the rock and a hard place and inundated with the unnecessary ills of society until Occam's razor Ramon becomes dull, until you encounter trouble at every angle, yet you remain tenacious, determined to run this Harley rat race as an ultimate warrior, moving forward still despite blemishes and scars. Failure to be Mr. Perfect will not hinder your progress. Onward and upward. Feel like $1 million man. Even though your bank account begs to differ, get rowdy for righteous causes. Get in touch with your spirituality. They say God works in Rey Mysterio ways. If a higher power reigns in your life like Roman, no scorpion sting will sting your foot. A guardian angel of the galaxy who looks like Dave Bautista will watch over you. Let's get ready to Royal Rumble. Mishaps will hit you over the head with a folding chair. The universe is a comedian like Eddie Guerrero Murphy. Doubt, dressed as a referee, will count you out. Do positive self-talk promos in the mirror. Circumstances will try to handicap your destiny. Form a tag team alliance with faith, hope, and action. Blow down the steel cage walls of Chris Jericho. Slay an Andre the Giant Goliath. Go down in the history books as one of the greats. A Booker T. Washington Carver. A Stone Cold People's Champion. A Macho Man without toxicity. Tame the animal urge to turn heel. Never muzzle the junkyard dog inside you. Keep that iron sharpens iron edge. Charge toward the ring. CM Punk rock musing, blasting. Welcome to the big show. To wrestling with principalities in high places, to getting it from the mud, to consulting a therapist, to WrestleMania, anxiety, depression, to explore your genesis. In the beginning, man wrestled with the Creator and refused to let go. thinking of a master plan so there could be more than just sweat inside of hand, grappling with problems. Reverse maneuvering breakdowns before the breakout, before the breakthrough. Break out the Johnson & Johnson anointing oil and make skin gold dust glisten until no negativity can grab hold. 1, losses will happen. 2, you are a Survivor Series. Almost. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show nothing can pin you to the mat.
I wrote this one from the voice of a pen who bled to death trying to deliver a message, scratching the lines on some processed wood as if they were clawing for dear life. Although its suicide was a sacrifice for the pens who'd come behind it, it hurts to see it pass away at the ending of a bloodline. Its metaphors and soliloquies could be found in its lineage, if not lost in its expiration. Granted, nothing lasts forever. Ink, blood, nor stone. I must admit, I hate to see it go. I want to say it died peacefully, but when I think of the pieces it left of itself, I know deep down it suffered, coughing up its clotted insides just to get its point across. And with the final splatters of its DNA, it left behind these words. Don't measure me in comparison to my peers. My flow may not be as smooth as some, yet the gravity of my unspoken words outweigh the feather pens, those that have scripted declarations. So hold me accountable for my actions. No matter if my scribes slip through bindings, writing submissions, and sought for anthologies, every gram of my body should be weighed by my impact. Know that I did my best. So if I point less high for not fixing my voice to match their competitive cadence, the fact is, I stopped writing for scores long before my demise. I write for freedom, justice, and equality, none of which America is going to give openly. So I pen Emma Sword, boxing gloves, the firearm pulled from the hip with one loaded in the head. So when I bang the backs out of paper, it's safe to say the world is a firing range, and I have trained diligently to prepare myself for this day, the one where I will have emptied out in war to defend your soul, the reader, reciter, the spirit who will breathe life into the scribe of a pen. Thank you, if I may. I am honored by your voice for not letting me die in vain.
My hot take is that homophobes are not afraid of the gay itself. They're just afraid they could fall in love with themselves in another body. Hits too close to home. See, I ain't supposed to love a fat black bitch with all the heart in the world. I was never supposed to be my type. Rather me fall in love with a man, tall, dark, and handsome, that hates me just the same. But I love my men the way I love my breasts. Like I'm probably better off without them. Like they want to hold me down, but I can appreciate God's love in their presence. Love my men the way I love my breast, hoping all the toxicity don't turn into a cancer. My gay is not a cancer. It is the cure, radiating self-love in all the places the sun don't reach. Why do you think we co-opted the rainbow? Our love is what happens after the lie of a silver lining breaks open. Because gray clouds are not a sign of hope. It is a sign, a warning of a storm coming. Once I was held hostage by a hurricane of homophobes and stared at it straight in the eye. What's a hurricane to a black hole spiraling out of control? Maybe you mind the business that fails to pay you and let me love my sweet scented magnolias in peace. loving myself wherever it presents.
Let me unwind your mind and take you out of the box that you put yourself in. Once awakened, you will move as such, and your mind will never sleep again. Honey, that woman don't look like what she been through. As women, we hold each other to a certain accountability. We have to vibe and connect together in ways that first allow us to be friends. And we make sure we show love, loyalty, and respect to just them. You know, your mother, sister, cousin, aunties, and best friends. Now, I'm not trying to tell you not to love on your faves, because, honey, I love on mine. But God wants us to love everyone. That means no one left behind. Sometimes we forget that life is life and all the time, and not just to us. As women, we don't often recognize the hate we afflict on those we can't relate with. Us women can be some very harsh individuals. We dismiss people from what we can physically see, and if we don't like the inner you, dismiss you'll be. Never really knowing the treasures that hide within, most women hate their own reflection. So if we remind them of them, that counts us in. We make people earn love that God gives for free, then be upset when they decline the fee. See, you never know the pages within a book unless you open it up to take a look. You don't know how that woman had to fix her crown alone. See, you may not have to fix yours on your own. With heartbreaks and letdowns that came with tears that burned her face. That pain that may have took forever to erase. Yet we often judge from mannerisms and the way we think you should and shouldn't be. Never knowing the story that you as a woman had to pave in this world that's filled with so much hate. See, manipulation and being narcissistic are toxic traits that could have put that woman in her grave. Yes, we really do choose what we tolerate depending on who it is. You know, our special people list. But as women, we have to learn to lift each other up, no matter who she is, where she lives, her height, weight, or education. We let labels mistake us into seeking validation, and for those who would never really care. So I'll say this to every woman near or far. If I ever tore you down when you felt tall and made you feel very small, I apologize for it all from the bottom of my heart. This time around, I'll take better care of me because heal people heal people. Now, I wish I knew that from the start. But here is a story just to help you understand that nothing is what it seems from the outside looking in. At birth from the hospital, she didn't go home. Her mother named her after her grandmother and told her to take her as her own. Tables turning, honey. Grandma wanted to be grown. She told her daughter, you take care of your own. Things began to happen. Before the little girl was 1 year, she had already been molested. In the beginning of her preteen, she was told she had no virginity. This put the little girl mind on pause for no one to restart. Trauma turned her soft heart hard and cold. Only God could restore that little girl's soul. Yes, she poured love into others that she never received herself. This made the devil angry. Everything he tried, no success. 2 suicide attempts, yet she still lives. Truth is, there's so much more to the story. She now serves God and lives in his glory. And trust me, I know this to be true. Because the story I told with effortless flow is my own truth. And no, I'm not telling it to seek sympathy from you. But as women, we have to understand if you see anyone's crown slipping and about to fall, catch it before it drops. You don't even have to let her know it was off so her world doesn't have to stop. Because trust me, what she been through, she don't show. So let that lady glow, glow, glow. You don't know what made her who she is today. No matter the role she had to take, we thank God she walks by faith. And even though my journey is not yet through, I pray that I be the rose that stay red. That means never losing the color God gave me or you. Now, you may have judged this book, but I pray you never judge another, because we are women. We are supposed to empower each other. Thank you.
Dear black man, no, I meant African. But no, Al Kabulan, that man molded by God's hands, that one and only human created in my womb, feet kissed by the motherland, created to be a god, a position long forgotten by the fires created by man's hands, ancestors awakening. Can you feel their fire in your veins? That moment of feeling crazed, you hear their voices, yet the wicked would call you depraved, label you savages, when there is no Neanderthal in your veins. Peace, King, I mean peace, God. Dear God, allow me to explain that pain that sits in your chest is from the spiritual knowledge that you aren't anywhere near your functional best, and most days average at best, but your average still requires at least 10 of their best, hence you being labeled a threat. You see, your mental rest, though quite necessary, is a slumber that can no longer be tolerated. Created to love me and protect, not just for the purpose of reproduction, yes, multiply, but frequency between you and I creates planets and galaxies. Yes, reproduction, but not the only function of flesh creation, its frequency and manifestation. If only you could look into my eyes and see the mirror image of your greatness. But if you despise what you see, you'll find only the confirmation that you are so flooded with the sickness of Neanderthal lies, and I bet that you'll think I'm crazy when I say that Brother Kanye was right. We chose this life. For if we knew the power of our rage, that alone could have ended slavery in one night. And it's easy to look at me and say that girl is far from left while too focused on the right when you look around and only see loose fingers and no fists in this fight. They blinded you in one eye, then convinced you that your enemy was the melanin's reflection of you, and now your aim is off. So, dear black man, no, sorry, I meant African. No, I meant Al Kabulan. I meant Peace King. No, Peace God. I know why you did it. I still remember the pain in your eyes as my wound cries. You, the protector of my life, sword to my throat. So I return back to that time and I scream, damn it, let me die. Paint yourself in my blood and allow a warrior's cry. Let rage swing as our souls relate to the next lifetime, but know that I will be all right once those loose fingers find their fists tied together at the ancestors' wrist. No more countries, just that one continent for their plot twist. I know my heart desires for my people to finally know peace, but the colonizers have proven that they think our hearts to be weak. So when the blade hits, yes, when the pendulum swings, let our ancestors in your blood bask in their screams. So I leave you with this one final thing. Loose fingers without a fist still ain't shit. So, dear black man, no, I meant African, no, Al Kabulan, peace, God, no more peace, God, it is time to rage.
Before I die, will I have lived the life that I've always dreamed about? Will I have fought my hardest in every bout? Will I present adequate strength when push comes to shove? Will I get a proper farewell from every person that I love? Will my name be meaningful when it goes after in memory of? Will I be ready to accept my eternal slumber? Will I accept reality for what it is, or will I wonder? Will I be content with my life when the Grim Reaper has my number? Will everything I do in life be worth it? Before I die, will my life be as close as it can get to being perfect? When I die, will I be free from all of my sorrow and pain? Will the stories of my life give others wisdom and knowledge to gain? Will my life be complete with no other accomplishments to obtain? Will I be happy? Will others look back on memories that are not crappy? Will I be emotional or emotionless? Will my downfall be painful or painless? Will I be proud of what I created? Will I want to be buried or cremated? When I die, will my artistry become timeless or outdated? After I die, will I be caught by surprise as I get sent into an infinite loop of my own demise? Will the story of my downfall make it to the news? Will I continue to be somebody's muse? Will I have a state of consciousness? Will I be in a realm of discontent or preciousness? Will I have a worthy legacy to leave behind? Will others have a positive message to keep in mind? Will my death mean that I lost control? Will my death make someone close to me not feel whole? After I die, will I not matter? Or will my death make someone's soul shatter?
I am crystallized honey and rose quartz, dancing from tip to tip on my cardinal points. The path in my garden of truth is soft. I walk on angels' wings and cherubs' breath dancing. Under starlight, I am cinnamon and cocoa with coffee steaming. At midnight, I am a single droplet. I am the ocean where you will drown. Eve's daughter, puddle jumping through wormholes, floating away for too damn long. Now I'm bending light my way. I just ground chili peppers into cosmic dust, snorted that shit Pacino style, vibing to my own highest, this Nirvana or bust. You may skip to my loo, my darling. I'm a live wire, the third rail, a shooting star. I'm your holy grail at night in desert air, mixed with marshmallow fluff. 2 licks are a kick to your head. Eat it or wear it. Just don't ask how much sugar is in it. The Surgeon General declared me a level 1 risk to your health. I keep on ticking. And you best mind the boom, because I might be a Cat 5 teapot, a tsunami rainbow wave of inspiration in my mama's antique brass jam pot. Taste the breeze of my passing, but don't burn your mouth. That pepper is hot. And so is my hand of power. When I touch your third eye, you will know. Use it well. Be all that you are and nothing you're not. I'm 3/4 to the third power, still here. And if 25 was the goal, I might cry for a second or two into your beer. But I have too much to do to cry over spilled rainbows. And so I just wanted you to know how good I am. Hit the rim, took a charge, grabbed my own rebound, and flew to the edge of the stars to receive what the divine wanted me to know. That blessings abound, and we are all connected. Yes, I see that road fork coming. I've been birthing self-portraits and finger paints made of blood and oils, and I'm ready to lead and be led by my heart and my mind. They're arm wrestling for the ultimate prize of my destiny. No idea who's winning. I turned down the volume, but if you're a betting man, I'd say lay odds on my heart. Someone tried to cut it out, but I said, fuck that. You don't get to have that part of me anymore. Feels so good to belong to me, myself, and I in the hot tub of the universe, snorkeling on stardust. Take my hand and feel the sparks that ignite my blood. The universe has claimed me for its own. So buckle up, Buttercup, if you want to watch me fly. I got 4 on the floor and nitrous on my broom, and it's going to be a hell of a ride.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. I've been exercising more muscle than my 26-inch pythons as of late. And I'm not talking about the big muscle. I'm talking about the most important muscle, the big noodle, the brain, and not the Bobby the Brain variety, dude. Me and the Hulkamaniacs have been doing our research on global warming. With the sea levels rising, many natural habitats are in danger, brother. There's no shame in crying when the world around you is suffering and you feel that spiritual bond between you and the living forces of life build the planet's ecosystem brick by brick, getting stronger and stronger by the second, to the point that it's palpitating faster than a stampede of intergalactic shooting stars through every square millimeter in your veins, and you are overwhelmed with empathy, brother. And if that was Sorry. And if that wasn't enough, my heart bleeds for all the Hulkamaniacs who go hungry worldwide. What will they do for a simple meal, man? First, I had to go to whole new universe, a whole new frontier to obtain sacred knowledge that binds all living things together. I went to college, Mean Gene, and I came up with an elaborate college-educated plan that would end both world hunger and the rising sea level problems at the same time. I went to great lengths to fund research, and honestly, we really don't know what we're dealing with here, man. I'm just a little concerned and worried about the level of influence I have. But if there's anything I've learned, is that Hulkamania is the most powerful force in the universe, and we're about to give birth to a whole new movement, and that's Pasta Mania, brother. What happens when you cook pasta? When you put it in, when you cook pasta, what happens to the overall volume of the boiling water in the pot? The pasta absorbs the water. There is less volume. It's just a matter of doing that same thing, but in a much grander scale, man. You don't have to add salt to the boiling water in our oceans, brother. And who doesn't love pasta, man? Who doesn't love pasta? Who doesn't love sucking down some saucy spaghetti, or gnawing on some gnocchi, or feeding on some fettuccine, or ravaging on some ravioli, or macking on some Mac Jack? We all have so much pasta, we'll be literally swimming in it all, brother. So rising sea levels, world hunger, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when Pasta Mania runs wild on you? Poem.
Yo, that was fantastic, man. You see, the poetry is a sign that good stuff can come out of really bad stuff. That was great, man.
Dre, I
Yeah,
love
it was
how
great.
you blend drama with poetry. Like your pieces are such a story. They're almost like a Broadway play in a way. I don't even know how to describe what you do. It's your own unique thing, and it is absolutely amazing. And how the hell do you do that voice without breaking? Like if I try to growl like that, I need like water or something 2 seconds later.
Yeah, I just took that moment right now to grab some water.
I saw that. Yeah.
Because this next poem, I do really need to get like a little bit more water actually, because I promised this would be like a Mega Powers thing.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, and now we have Randy Savage coming up, stepping up to the plate.
To coat your throat or something so you can,
So here's a little thing let's call Savage Kink. What if Macho Man Randy Savage wrote an erotica? Here's your answer.
Adulthood is a lonely neighborhood, yeah. I walked down that lonely road in a world that's treated me coldly. Dead body cold, yeah. And there's been times in my prime in which I had a better chance of pushing a camel through the eye of a sewing needle and finding warmth in this emotional ice age, yeah. But then all it takes is a little spark that illuminates through the dark, finding its way to grow into an ember with an accompanying warmth that'll surrender into a wildfire that doesn't destroy, but rather builds into a white ball of intensity that rivals the forces of 1,000 suns. Yeah, I'm gonna render you into a state of shock, and you will not be coming down for a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna make you sigh and wheeze and sweat and bleed. You'll feel like you've been in a car wreck, but I won't make you bleed. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with grabbing a little shrubbery in the pitches. Yeah. Nothing wrong at all. Nothing wrong with grabbing a little bit of bush and tugging it by the roots and see how you react when the nerve endings from that area shoot up to your spine to the divine leak in your mind. Yeah. And then you'll find something that you've never found before. Yeah. And that's a new kink. A new Yeah, savage like that, yeah. And before you know it, you will succumb to my might and you'll be looking up at the lights and you'll be and I'll be rising to the top because I'm the cream of the crop, yeah. And you'll be consumed by the madness, yeah. And that madness will consume you faster than a blink of an eye, yeah. You'll happen so fast that you won't be able to talk about it, yeah. The light comes at you fast, but you will be coming faster, yeah. And so don't you dare blink an eye, don't buy any ripe bananas. Don't plan too much of your future, yeah? Because by the time that the dust is settled, you'll be reduced to a bottle of pleasure in which I will bask and bathe in. Ooh, yeah!
They say the strength shouldn't be soft, that resilience should be quiet, that survival should not leave scars, but they have never been hungry. They have never had to bleed for the next meal. They have never stood in the streets where kindness is a currency you can't afford, where mercy is a weakness, and weakness is a death sentence. They tell me to be gentle now, to let go, to soften as if the hands, I'm sorry, as if survival is something you can unlearn, as if the hands that learn how to fight can suddenly learn how to trust. They call me cold. They call me hard. But they were never there when the night swallowed me whole, never saw the moments when the world collapsed in on me, when desperation had teeth and survival wasn't just willpower, it was action. They call me broken, presenting it as their truth, without understanding that this world could never break me. That's the fucking point. You think healing erases memory? I still taste the hunger, still feel the weight of the nights that could have been my last. I dodged bullets while they dodged calls. Sewed my own wounds shut while they sowed seeds of judgment, sold pretty little pictures of what they think struggle looks like together. Like Oliver Twist and Tom Sawyer was the worst this world had to present. They speak of struggle as if they understand it, as if they know the feeling of having more friends in the ground than the ones who walk on it. We are not the same. They see a rap video and glorify the depictions of a hood as if they ever been what made it hood to begin with, as if they have ever worn their brother's faces on a shirt knowing that the ink will last longer than he did. Do they think I wanted this? That I woke up one day and chose to carve myself from steel? No. The world did that for me. The streets taught me to hold my own, to build armor from the broken pieces and be strong because softness got people killed. And now they want me to apologize for learning how to survive, for doing what had to be done, for refusing to crumble, but I will not, because the strength that kept me alive may not be pretty. It may not be comfortable, but it's mine. And I will never be ashamed of it. Why should I? It's the only reason I'm still here, the only fucking reason. It's the strength that made me. The strength they see and fear, and they should, because I refuse to conform to some pacifist version of myself to be walked upon, to be taken advantage of and overlooked when it's time to pay up. I'm not gonna sit here and wait for you to give me what's mine. I'm taking my piece of the pie. Taking what belongs to me. And I know that's what bothers them. That I'm taking my respect, my dignity, my strength, my resilience, and I'm standing on it, doubling down, and I'm not only surviving, but I'm thriving while they settle into complacency, becoming another name, another number, another story lost in a crowd of opinions that nobody cares about. But it's always easy to go with the flow than to swim against the current. But I've never been one to take the easy route. The strong ones never do, so while they have their opinions on what strength is, I'll keep my strength forged in the fires of darkness they refuse to face. You see, I have strength because it's strength that made me. They say it is better to have loved and lost, and I've never loved at all. But they have never sat at the bedside of the only person whose presence has ever made sense in this world, gripping their hand while the world prepares to let them go. They have never heard silence respond to prayer. Never begged for intervention and received only stillness, as if the heavens issued a quiet, steady, not this time, as if this time wasn't the only time that it would ever matter. I have lived in that moment ever since. I've carried it like shrapnel, lodged too deep to remove, but too sharp to ignore. But when they, because when they sorry. Because when they left, they took something I don't know how to name. And the worst part is no one warns you that your reflection will change. Not the surface, not the smile, but the essence. Now when I look in the mirror, I see casualties of love, of time, of war. I never enlisted in, but fight every morning when I rise. This is not just mourning, this is spiritual wartime. When faith and fury live in the same breath. Where hope is the rebel and grief is the drumbeat of every step forward. So no, it is not better to have loved and lost. Not when loss feels like this. Not when love becomes a wound you never wanted, when the price of having them, when the price of having had them is waking up in a world without them. Not when what's left is a storm that never quiets and a future you can't picture because the one you pictured it with is gone. So don't tell me it's better this way. Don't feed me a borrowed wisdom wrapped in a fortune cookie faith, because some absences don't teach, some wounds don't heal, and some love, when loss, doesn't leave behind a lesson. It's only silence. I'm still here, breathing in absence, learning to carry the weight of a name I can no longer call out loud, not because it gets easier, not because this is what it means to survive. When you have the one thing that gave you the light has gone dark. I would have chose silence over emptiness. I would trade the brightest joy to never know this kind of dark. I would rather have never held them than to spend forever feeling the hollow where they used to be, because the ache doesn't fade and some losses don't grow lighter with time. They just grow deeper roots. And maybe that's what they'll never understand. That some of us aren't looking for closure. Some of us aren't trying to coexist with the crater left behind. Because there's no moving on. There's no moving with. There's with the absence, with the what ifs, with the version of ourselves that stopped growing the day they left. Some days I manage, other days I fold into memory, into quiet, into the smell of their shirt that I still haven't washed. Because it's the last place they still exist without fading. And when I laugh, it's sometimes just a break between waves, not healing, not catching my breath before the grief returns like a tide. So no, don't romanticize this. Don't call this strength. It's not noble. This is waking up with half your heart missing. It's survival. It's instinct. It's remembering how to walk with a limp because something in you isn't coming back. And still I carry them. Not in peace. Not yet. But in pieces. And maybe someday that'll be enough. But that day is not today, so I pray that they will never know this level of love and loss. That they will continue to hold on to this ridiculous notion. If my present could be their future, let them believe that it is better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. So let them never sit beside the same bed, never clutch a hand growing colder, never listen for a heartbeat that no longer answers. Let them float untouched by this gravity. Let them love and let them never lose. Because if loss makes poets of us all, then I trade the pen for ignorance in an instant. I trade every word, every tear, every sacred memory, just to have never had to write this. It is not better, but I'm willing to let them believe that it is. I think I was always meant to love poetry. The snaps of a crowd always felt so natural, it almost seemed soothing, and it's the sound of the clapping that don't seem to bother me, and I know that sounds weird, but it does. Perhaps it's just too similar to the sound of my mother being slapped around in the other room, followed by quiet sobs. I remember my swollen-faced mother trying to cheer us up. Come on. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I'm sorry I never found a reason to sing along, Mom. Maybe my empty stomach was locked into too many knots to allow myself to feel free enough to sing. And I know it hurt you as much as it did me. I just think it affected me differently is all. But you just kept on singing. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. And I probably would have if I wasn't too busy trying to find my footing. God knows I had plenty of reason to stomp around my room, reason to scream and shout and cry until there are no more tears to be had, reasons to hate this world and everything in it. I get it now, Mom. I finally fucking get it. You found your escape through a pipe. It allowed you to keep singing through the pain, to say the words you never felt to begin with. You're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. I always intended to sing along, Mom. When I was finally ready to start singing, you had stopped, and there was a light that was lost in your eyes, and I'm sitting here regretting missing the only opportunity this life would ever grant me to sing with my mother. But then my door swings open. My son comes running into the room. He leaps into my arms. Dad, sing with me. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hey, listen, bud. Maybe later, okay?